the know, just come watch the show to know what to do. Just jump in the queue, it's down to you. So what you gonna do? All in the queue, it's hella to you. All in the queue, just check out the view. All in the queue. So be in the know, just come watch the show to know what to do. Just jump in the queue, it's hella to you. So what you gonna do? All in the queue, it's hella to you. All in the queue, it's check out the view. All in the queue. All in the queue, it's hella to you. All in the queue, just check out the view. All in the queue. Be in the know, just come watch the show to know what to do. Just jump in the queue, it's down to you. So what you gonna do? All in the queue, it's hella to you. All in the queue, just check out the view. All in the queue.
All right. How's everybody this evening? I hope you're good. Let me see who was up in here. Hey, Miss Condia, how are you? Hey, Bobo, how are you? I'm doing pretty good, Condia. Hey, Deb Hill, how you doing? Okay, you prepping food for the next few days? Okay, sounds good. Hey, Dave Bryson, thank you for being here. Hey, Jody, thank you for being here. All right, we got people coming on. Teach you how to meal prep because I need to start doing it, child. I used to do that and then I got tired. Every Sunday, child, is when I used to do my meal prep on every Sunday. I need to start doing it again though, for real. Hey, Jim C, how you doing? Okay, so we live today talking about the recap of this meeting that happened yesterday. Child, I'm look straight into the camera for this one. I am totally flabbergasted. Okay, about yesterday's meeting, and I mean it was crazy. Okay, let me clean my glasses. Child, if y'all knew how many pairs of glasses I had, y'all would probably be like, she's addicted to glasses. I have millions of pairs of glasses and cannot find a cleaning cloth to save my life. But I got a million pairs. Oh, got him. Got him. Okay. Hey, Enrique, how are you? I hope you're doing good. I also wanted to come on and talk about the meeting, but I wanted to read you guys my statement, my full statement, because I didn't get to read my full statement. So I'm going to read my full statement to you guys. But we're going to talk about this meeting. We're going to talk about the differences and the similarities. Hey, Deb Hill, thank you. Thank you for becoming a member of this channel. Our meetings of the minds are great. Now that you're a member, you should go back and watch some of those meetings of the minds, starting with the Regina Waldrop interview. We also have Kobe Chapman in there. Hey, this is crazy. I think I've seen you a few places. This is crazy. And this is crazy. Welcome. Okay, welcome. And so, yeah. Let's do something different then. Let's start out with questions. What questions? Because I know that lots of people have done recaps of this meeting today. I've seen a few people just updating your car. Okay. Um, I've seen a few people doing recaps on this meeting. So let's start with questions. What questions would you all like for me to answer? What questions do you have about yesterday? And while I wait for the questions to come in to the chat, hey Ernesto, how are you? SP, if your vision is like mine, you need a lot of pairs so you can always find a pair. Listen, honey, right here next to this computer I'm sitting at. Here go two pair right here. I got two more pair in here. Okay, two more pair in here. I got another pair in here. Okay, there's another pair in there. So uh, listen, I tries to keep them everywhere because sometimes I walk out the house without them. Okay, now you guys tell me what questions you have. I need to address something. I'm going to address it very lightly and really quickly. Okay. Hey, Reality Check TV, how you doing? I hope you're doing good. Hey, Master G. Listen, Babe Solo, I don't know what's going on with you. I don't know. Why do you feel the trustees are so quiet all of a sudden? I mean, especially Stubbs and Mary. Okay, so let's talk about it. We just gonna jump into it, okay? Okay then. Oh, okay then, Ernesto. Um, I feel like they're so quiet because Napoleon is a senator, and I'll say they have high respect for him, right? Um, and they feel a certain loyalty to him. Um, Maybe, possibly, allegedly, he funded the entire campaign, right? And so maybe you feel like, hey, French Wrench, hello, 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 hello. Maybe they feel like, because he did that, I owe him a certain loyalty, right? Um, and maybe they are having conversations behind the scenes, and they're having maybe disagreements behind the scenes, but we don't know that, right? We don't know that they are having disagreements behind the scenes. And for people to call someone having questions or differences of opinion behind the scenes drama or anything of that nature, um, I think it's unhealthy, right? Because I feel like in a governmental setting, disagreements in healthy debate is very good, right? And we don't know what they're talking about behind the scenes. All we know is what we see. We see them come into a meeting, we see them vote, and they vote yes to everything, and there is no discussion. No one is saying anything. Now, while the trustees may get a packet, right, of information, we don't have the privilege of having that same packet because nothing is posted on the website. No ordinances that they're about to pass, no bills, no warrant list, no resolutions. None of that has been posted on the website. We barely get the agenda posted, right? So my thing is, somebody should say something. Someone should say, in this packet there was such and so, and I asked a question about that, and this is the answer I received. I didn't necessarily like the answer, so I'm going to be voting no today. right? Because we don't know what's in the package. We don't know what you're talking about behind the scenes. We have no idea. Only thing we know is what we see when we come to these meetings or when these meetings are broadcast. We see something red, we see the roll called, and we see a vote, and that's it, right? So, you know, for me, these conversations that may be happening behind the scenes, we need to hear a little bit of it in the public. Did they answer any questions being asked? Because I can't stand watching those meetings too no more. No, they did not, Condia. And Enrique, yes, she is, because I ain't never said a bad word about that woman. Yes, she had my name in her mouth yesterday for some reason. And I, I'm truly baffled because you the one came screaming to me and Vivian when you was about to get handled, done and dusted by someone else. But anyhow, and my dog Rex, this is my point too, right? So we can't just blame Napoleon for doing what he did. We also have to blame ourselves because the voter turnout was horrible. So if he had all his people to come out and vote him in, that's what happened, right? So here we are. I feel like they are possibly intimidated and regretful. Those two things could be true at once, Candia. They definitely can. Um, they definitely can be true at one time. And Enrique, yes, this is very troubling, right? It is very troubling that you would know all of the things that were happening in this township before you took the seat, and all of the things that people were asking for before you took the seat, and yet nothing. Hmm. That's all I'm saying. Um. So, and the fact that you're keeping, you can make a lot of excuses about why you're keeping a certain person around, but if you do a forensic audit, you won't have to keep anybody around. You'll be able to do what you need to do because you will have the information that you need to have. Um, so, for me, uh, I really didn't expect any less because he's a senator. But I am confused as to why you think you shouldn't be responsive to the public or talk to the public. This is a local seat, right? This is a local seat. This seat actually touches the community. So while you are a senator, sitting up on a national level, and that's fine, you also have a local seat. And in the local seats, that means that the local politicians are responsive to the residents because that's just where you are. I feel like the way he campaigned was a huge red flag and foreshadowing on how he would be as a supervisor. It could have been. On my platform, I think I want you to remember that I told you all do your research. Don't vote on party lines. And vote for no one if you don't feel like nobody is your choice. You have that right too, right? But the main thing we have to do is come out and vote. That's the main thing that we need to do. Were there other options? Yeah, I don't think there were any other viable options, if you ask me. You had Richard, Nolan, definitely a no. You had Nate. The only thing I had to say about Nate was I didn't feel like he was able to handle the budget portion. The budget thing was a huge concern for me because there's lots of money we're talking about. And so I wanted him to be a lot more versed when it came to the budget because allocation and use of money is everything. Knowing where to put money and what to do with it. Of course, everybody's not going to like every decision that you make, right? And that's fine. But there should be some compromising with the decisions. At least it should go 60-40 in the residents' favor, right? That's the way I'm feeling. Maybe Harris has as raised the salary in order to resign and leave a good salary to his next supervisor. French Ranch, you funny. So Richard would be worse than Napoleon. Yes, and he had a lot of red flags in his background. Nobody even looked up why he was let go from, I think it was the village of Dixmoor. I mean, he had a whole bunch of stuff in his background that nobody was talking about. Um, and so yes, and weird too. Okay. Every year there's a public financial report audit available. The prime need to for a copy of the report. Yeah, and my thing is the the two budget hearings that they had weren't even done correctly, because it is a question and an answer. When you do a budget hearing, it is a question and an answer. It is not we pick these questions, these certain questions. No, it is a question and an answer. So the public is able to ask questions and they get an answer. That's the reason for the hearing. That is the reason for the hearing. At any other municipality, that is how it's done. That what they do is they go over, some people do it different. They go over the budget first, and then they ask, if you like to make a comment or you have a question about the budget, please come forward. And then you line up and then you come and you ask your questions and they give you an answer. That's how it's a question and an answer. Um, and so that portion was lacking. And I didn't understand none of the answers that Robert was reading, because I don't even know if he wrote them because it was so difficult for him to read them. Because and so I want to know who wrote them. Anybody want to answer out there? I want to know who wrote them because it was so difficult for him to read. I couldn't even understand. Again, I felt like we was listening to him read off the warrant list. Okay, I felt like, is he smarter than a fifth grader? Because I can't understand anything he's saying at this point, and I'm sitting in the same room with this man. And then he read an answer. That was weird to me. It was weird to me that he took questions that he got before the meeting, days before the meeting, and formulated answers for them, and then had to read them. Had to read the answers. You did the budget, and you, child. Diane Reeves says, did someone tell me that Robert graduated from Harvard or Notre Dame? He graduated from Notre Dame. No, he graduated from Notre Dame. Really. I don't trust any politicians, but damn, these Illinois politicians are ruthless. They definitely are. They will lie, 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 and then they get in that seat and they will act like you the problem, which is what you saw last night. The gaslighting that was going on, it was the gaslighting for me. It was the gaslighting for me. So you don't feel that the trustees will hold him much accountable than Napoleon, whom they seem to be intimidated by or bought by him. So you don't feel the trustees will hold him much. You know, I had someone make the comment, and I'm not going to say who, that they were okay with what he was getting paid. And I said, okay, that's you. That's you, though. Coming from a traumatized place, because that's where we're coming from. We're coming from a traumatized place, right? Um, of already having someone get a salary of that magnitude and not produce anything for the community, um, is the reason why people, I believe, are so upset, right? Because they had this happen before where the person was getting a salary and doing whatever they want and not providing any services to the entire community. They targeted the senior community. So they were doing big bingo and I really just big bingo and giveaways. So for me, I think they're not holding him accountable because they're making excuses because he's a senator. I don't care that you're a senator. We're not talking about your senator seat. We're talking about the supervisor seat, which you've never held before and you've never done before. And so, and you don't really talk to the public as a senator, or you're not available. But the supervisor is a position that is always available to the public. But he stacked the deck because he had the people that support him to come out and vote for him. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. Master G pointed out that Mary Vaughn has a lot to say at the podium at Dalton, but is quieter than a mouse at TT where she has a vote. My thing, let me just put some things on the line, okay? Some people is not gonna like this, and that's okay. I'm okay with it. You know, hey Kathy Stevens, how you doing? Let me say this. Lord have mercy. These people were elected in their own right to their own seat, right? So just as loud as you are in any other place should be as loud as you are in the place you in right now, right? That's the point. I feel they will hold Richard's feet to the fire, especially him doing a Republican. The Democrats, I truly don't believe it could be any worse. Ernesto, there is a huge issue with Mr. Nolan's character for me, just from what I know. And nobody really looked into him and told any of his stuff. I am telling you, that is a huge problem. It's a huge problem. So, to me, they need to do what politicians do. I don't care what you did for me. I'm in this seat now, and what are you going to do about it? Because that's what Napoleon is telling us. He's telling us, I'm in this seat now, and what you going to do about what I'm doing? He told us last night that he was the one, and the board was the one to tell who's going to be hired and who's going to be fired. No, ordinance dictates that certain positions are board approved. So if someone is sitting in a seat and they haven't been board approved because they were from Little Stanks administration, they have to go according to the ordinance. What are you talking about? But this is what politicians do. I'm not saying that he doesn't have character issues, right? But I don't believe he don't have the ones that Mr. Nolan do. Go look him up for yourself. That's what I want you to do. Go look up Mr. Nolan and then you come back and tell me if that's for sure, where you would have put your eggs. Because I ain't putting my eggs over there. I would have put my eggs in Nate's basket if it came down to that. Let's see. Tell me how's Napoleon the ice cream man doing now that he's supervising Dalton. I pray it's not a replay of. Yeah, he not starting off good. Napoleon's the big stepper and either get down or lay down. Yeah, but Ernesto, listen. Once you are a part of the machine, you got to figure out what part you're going to play, right? You're going to play by their rules or you're going to make your own rules, right? Like I said, once I got into that seat, I would have did what I wanted to do because what you going to do about it? I'm in the seat now. So here we go. I'm like this, and this, and I'm voting no. And what you going to do about it? And I look right down there. Why you gonna be scared when you sitting in the seat that you was elected to yourself? Well, Master G, we all make mistakes in life. So what does the lady that acting as a notary position at the town? And she's still sitting over there in a seat, and she lied, blatantly lied. We all got the proof of it, saw it, child. Does anyone know how they amended the credit card net 30 ordinance last night? I got two recent credit card statements through Floyd today. We didn't get to see the ordinance, Paul. Remember? They didn't post the ordinance, and they didn't give it to us at the meeting either. So we don't even know what the previous. So now, you know what, Paul? Tonight I will FOI for the ordinance, and I will FOI for the previous ordinance. Because what changes did they make? They made some changes to the other ordinance. They updated something. I don't know what the something was, so we need the two to compare and see what changed. Those Democrats been playing in y'all's faces for 59 years. Listen, I have never been a Democrat. I am an independent. When I'm an election judge. When you're an election judge, you have to pick a party to be a part of. I just choose the Democrats when I pick because that's what I do. But as far as be voting, I never vote Democrat. I vote whoever aligns best with my ethics and my morals and what I like that they said they're gonna do. Because just because they said they're gonna do it, don't mean they're gonna do it. So that's how I vote. But that's me. I asked two trustees about it. They said for it. And ain't that something? Paul, when they told us that we could literally ask them, right? Okay, well, let's get to doing it then. I saw their payment bounce six. Child. Come on, Paul. Paul, you know you. I don't even know why they send you anything. Because they're scared of the dice machine who backs Big Step and Napoleon. They don't have to be afraid of anything. They're sitting in the seat. If you're going to be, for me, the way that people are moving out here, they are backing people who are standing up. So if you're worried about that machine and you're not worried about the people that's voting for you, that's the first problem because it's about the votes. You can have a machine all you want to. But guess what? If the machine is not plugged into the wall, if it has a plug, it don't have any juice. If the machine you using work off batteries and ain't no batteries inside, it's not gonna work. So what we doing? For me, I would have just said, okay, well, I guess it's one turn for me, because baby, I'm about to turn this place upside down. I don't care what happened. I'm not gonna go back to doing what we just came out of. After I sat here and promised these people that I wouldn't do that. That's good because I know tons of people who vote them just because their parents did. And that's how people are trained, right? That's how we are brought up. I don't train my kids like that. My daughter voted for the first time this year. We went through the candidates, everything, they platforms and everything, and I told her, you choose who you like the best, who best aligns with what you. I didn't tell her how to vote, but I did show her how to research and told her, hey, vote according to what you believe in. That's good. Okay, okay. So, this whole, that's the problem. Ain't enough people voting with their, there you go. There you go. He stacked the deck. He stacked the deck. He had his people, and you can't blame him because when you campaigning, that's what you do. You make sure that your people get out and vote. You make sure that your people tell other people to go out and vote for you. Okay? And that's what you do. Paul is the man. He should have a position overlooking all the finances, in my opinion. They need a resident oversight finance committee. Is what they need. That's what they need. Mm-hmm. That's what they need. Because guess what? They're not gonna get this forensic audit, because you had this man sitting up there saying, "Guess what? Forensic audits cost money." Well, guess what? You spending on everything but a forensic audit money. You giving $4 million to a pantry don't need $4 million. Somebody's grandmother's friend said that. Huh? Sure did. I told y'all that these numbers was crazy. We spending money on you spending money on big bingo, you spending money on luncheons, you spending money on ice cream socials, picnics, all of that. You spending money on bonuses, you spending money on raises, but you couldn't find money for a forensic audit. Some don't sound right about that. Did he campaign? Yes, he did. He had events that you had to pay to go to. He had a whole bunch of paid events. So I think the tickets started at $35 for some of them, um, and stuff like that. He sure did. He sure did. But the average person that may not make enough money to be paying out for all these events to have access wasn't going. We also need to stop voting for people based off whether we like them as a person versus looking at the track record. I mean, liking somebody is a bonus, but for me, the reason I choose not to go to events that the candidates have, right? Because I don't want to be swayed by if I like them or not. I want to see what the facts are. Then I want to maybe watch you give a speech or do a debate or whatever you're going to do so that I can comfortably make a decision without being biased of I like you or not. Those are places money can be slid out of the door quickly and quietly. Illinois politicians are corrupt all over from the governor on down. They are. Like I said, I think I said to somebody earlier, everybody got dirt. You got to figure out which dirt is too dirty for you to be in. This is what we deal with out here in Illinois. That's what you got to do. That's what you have to do. You have to figure out which dirt is the least dirty. That's crazy, right? Right. But that's what we deal with out here. Absolutely, feelings ain't fact. He is a nice looking guy. Unfortunately, people may vote based on that. People may vote based on a lot of things, not that he's just a nice looking guy, but actually, when you're in his presence, he's actually a nice person, right? I don't have anything against him as far as is he a gentleman? Is he mannerable? Is he nice? Yeah. It is not that. It's the actions you took that was nasty. Okay? That's what it was for me. And like I said, these the trustees or the board was elected in their own right. They received votes just like he did. So we should be able to hear some of you saying he was nice, nasty, and he gaslit us all night last night and was nice, nasty, period. And then had Officer Storm standing in front of the table so nobody could approach the table and ask him anything. Right after he got chastised for that very thing. Diabolical. Absolutely diabolical. Hmm. Yeah. You know why? Because the room, he tried to stack the room again with his people for support, right? So he had support in the room. But anyhow, I did not. I finally heard his speech. Did he say he will not tolerate something? Yeah, he said he will not tolerate, I think it was drama or something like that. SP, I really believe when people see how low the voter turnout is in Dalton and TT, they see a lot of people simply don't give a damn, and it's easy to take advantage of them. Correct. Correct. And guess what, Master G? If you can make sure that your people come out and vote for you by having somebody on the ground organize those people, you don't have anything to worry about. Because if they're the only ones that show up to vote, then you're gonna get in the seat. Period. A lot of alleged crooks are good looking with good manners and well spoken. The devil, he dresses up because he know what we like, right? Right. I ain't gonna say the man the devil. I ain't saying that. Now he's sneaky for sure, right? He's slick. He's slick with it. I got to hand it to him. You know, whoever he be talking to help him with these maneuvers, boy, they be on it, doggone it. I'm gonna give him that. He got that one. Okay, he got it. Hey, Miss Prima Donna. Now listen, I didn't get to read all of my speech. Do y'all want to hear my speech in its entirety? I know some of you heard it last night, but let me know in the chat if y'all want to hear it. So for me, I feel like we need to hear all of the questions that came when you saw this budget. We need the trustees to be saying, I had questions under expenditures for the administration division, on the general assistance fund. It says last year it was $2,744,953, and this year y'all are asking for $4,594,741. Um, that's a big jump. Why would we need that much money? I mean, who are we adding to this administration over here? Now, allegedly, allegedly, people are feeling like this general assistance fund is going to be stacked full of Harvey people. Okay, y'all said read it. All right, here we go. Okay, so this was how this is going to be my entire speech that I was going to read last night. And let me tell you about these speeches, boy. When you're sitting in these seats and you're listening to people who go before you, you're sitting in a seat and you're like, maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't say this. Maybe I should say that. Because the emotions in the room are just all over the place, right? They are literally all over the place. But anyhow, here's my speech the whole entire speech. I'm going to read it. Okay. I said, on July 14th, Ben Bradley came to the township and asked the supervisor several questions. The first question he asked was, how could you do this being so critical of Tiffany? And he said, I was not critical of anything. The second question he asked was, considering what these residents have been through, do you think it's a good look for you to be doing the same stuff she did? The supervisor answered that it was an unfair assessment by Ben Bradley of what was happening. So I was going to say, so what is a fair assessment? And what is happening? I said, in the public's assessment, political maneuvers were made in secret to restore a salary we saw blocked before you took the seat. A team was put together of well-known community leaders who could be convinced that what was happening was for the good of the community. It is their credibility that is at risk. You are made aware that there was a vote for a forensic audit in your own words. No RFP was done, so no auditor was hired, and you made no moves to correct that action. At this present moment, the finance director from the previous administration still sits in a tainted, unchecked seat with no signs of removal, as he just completed a budget that either has many errors or blatantly shows the public where money will be misused. There are still non-approved employees on the township payroll, including ones that lied during the last administration. Events are being approved without disclosing to the public via the agenda a budget. At least the last administration had the audacity to tell the public a budget. You also commented to Ben Bradley that a workman is worthy of his hire. Loosely, this quote is from the Bible. I would direct you to a more befitting passage. The steps of a good man are ordered by God. The reflection of your last steps should be assessed. Lastly, to the board, you should remember you all were elected in your own right on your own merit. Why did you agree to join this team? Did you join for status or notoriety? Did you join to be famous or infamous? The choice is yours. Remember, being asked to pass agenda items with no discussion or no clear answers given. That is what the last administration did. You are now a part of a machine. What's important is the part you decide to play in it. The responsibility falls on no one person, but on you all collectively. If the supervisor fails, you all fail. There is a new game afoot with a new, more powerful player. Who are you more afraid of? The senator or your family, friends, neighbors who all help to put you in that seat? Disappointments fade, but some stains last forever. That was my speech. That was my entire speech. Hey, Status Quo, how you doing? Once a budget is approved, the township supervisor has a free reign over how to spend general assistance money. Yeah, that is true. Once it's approved, he can spend it now however he wants, right? And they just passed it when they should have tabled it because there's something wrong with that pantry budget. Okay, see. Confirmed, just listened to a sermon called Clean Hands. Just received a DM from cousin, keep God in your life, and scrolled, and you are here. Okay, come on now. Status Quo, your address to the township was excellent. Thank you, Status Quo. How you doing tonight? And so that was my speech in its entirety, right? Because what can we do now? They're voted in the seat for the next 4 years. What can we do other than a recall? And the recall mechanism has not been signed or passed yet. The new recall law that was proposed has not been signed or passed yet. And so we don't have that recourse as of yet. So what can we do right now? And I believe that if it's up to him, he's gonna try to block that recall mechanism, right? So what do we do? What do we do now? What do we do now? What we do now is we show up to the meetings and we stay on their neck and we say, this don't make any sense. Why did you do this? And for the board that lives within the community, I could not go to my front door. I could not look at my neighbors if I knew I was in here, I was doing something that was going to eventually harm them. That didn't make any sense, that I couldn't explain. What we need is more conversation, more discussion. If you don't agree with something, we need to know it, and we need to know what it is you don't agree with. Because we need to know. Because why? Because we've been traumatized. Previously, we wasn't able to know anything. We thought we was done with that. How much did you get to say at your speech last night? Only half of it. I think I stopped. Yeah, only half of it. That was my speech that I just read entirely. And I'll be back to make another speech because I was offended, and I'm sure the senator doesn't care anything about what we're saying. People at that level do not care. They do not care. They have turned off all sense of compassion, all sense of caring for the community. They don't care. And I'm sure that this will never reach him. I'm sure that he won't care about it, right? And that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that he would sit there and gaslight in that seat and say, um, people are just coming there for comments, to for clicks and for clickbait. That's Tiffany talking. Sound just like Tiffany to me. But sir, we was here before you got here in this seat. We've been covering this township for the better part, for me, a year, some people 2 years, some people 3 years, some people 4 years. Do you think that the trustees can ever convince Napoleon to work for poor people, which is supposedly the purpose of his job? I don't think that they will be able to convince him, right, Paul? But what they need to do is show him with their actions that his behavior is unacceptable, because that's what you do, right? You use the power that you have, like he using the power that he have, right? And they have a vote, right? And without him, they can still pass stuff, right? They can still not pass stuff, right? So it's a choice. It's a choice. It is a choice. There is a time limit on public comment. They passed the township rules. I don't know if that's legal or not, but they passed the township rules, and I went over the township rules when they passed them. And in there, it says that public comment is not to exceed 30 minutes. That's crazy. Because at least Tiffany let everybody talk. She might have been doodling, not listening to you, or whatever. But everybody that signed up on that sheet for public comment was able to speak. And for me, the trustees, the board, should have stopped that right there. They should have said, no, let's just let everybody speak that signed the paper. I don't see what the problem is. Oh, the senator have to go? The supervisor have to leave? Okay, he can excuse himself and we can vote in a supervisor pro temp if he needs to leave. Because what? Did he make eye contact with the people making public contact? Comment, yes. When I got up there and I apologized, I said, this night has been a little rough for you all. Mama said there'll be days like this. He was looking directly at me. I appreciate him for that. The way he said that clickbait speech was like, I thought you guys would stop showing up when I got in the seat. Child, we was here before you even got here. And some of us don't have no signs of leaving. So, whatever. Tiffany would sometimes let security adjourn a meeting during public comment. She would, Paul, but for me, that was only when something was going to happen that she didn't want to happen. But other than that, you got to give it to her. Everybody was able to speak. I don't care how long she let everybody speak. Sometimes some people was like, my name was on there again. She'd be like, okay, go ahead. She'll just take her whooping. And she wasn't paying attention anyway. They not going to set nothing shame on. And what's her name? Mary Vance Gonzalez just sat quiet as a mouse. Well, B, they weren't the only two that sat quiet as a mouse. Everybody did. Everybody did. Everyone. Now, Chris did a lot more talking than he did previously. I told you all he had been dealing with his father, and his father was very sick, and he had been dealing with that. And for me, township drama always gonna be last and secondary to my family. Period. That's just me. Okay. They didn't care about no 3 minutes when Tiffany was in that seat. They didn't care about no 30 minutes. They sure did. Is the 30-minute a new rule? It is. It is a new rule, Winky Wonder. It's a new rule because the senator's time is precious. Anywho, child, there's another thing that really, and listen, since I'm already gonna be ostracized, and the hobo advocate already said that these people is not talking to me or whatever. Listen, I don't care. Because at this point, this platform is for the residents. Okay? This platform is for the residents. It's resident education. I don't care. I don't care who rocking with me, who not. Right now, we need to be telling the truth. The truth hurts sometimes. So, anyway. So they keep saying about this 63 days. They only been in their seats 63 days. Here's my problem. You got hired on April 1st. April 2nd, or really the whole time you was campaigning, you mean to tell me y'all didn't have any conversations or anything about how you were going to strategize and attack the township as a team? And then April 1st, after you got the seat, you didn't get sworn in until May. So that whole month, you all didn't meet and strategize about anything. Well, that was an egregious mistake on your part because you should have been. You were voted in on April 1st. You should have had a plan or been formulating one that whole month before you took the seat. This is my opinion. This is my opinion. So stop saying this 63 day thing. You all that sit on this board live in the township. You know the problems. You know the issues that was happening. So you mean to tell me you sat there that whole month and you didn't start writing emails or sending out emails to everybody on the board, including the supervisor, and say, hey, I think we need to think about this. I think we need to tackle that. I think, here are a list of concerns that I have knowing what I know. So you mean tell me y'all didn't say any of that? None of that was talked about? They are foreseeing the public comment to go up in attendance, so they putting a cap on it. Child, that don't mean you ain't gonna get this work, because you're gonna get it. We'll take that whole 30 minutes. But we need to find out if that is lawful according to the Open Meetings Act. Because you can't pass anything that goes against the Open Meeting Act. And for me, the board should have stopped it. They should have said, no, let's not do that. Because you know what that seems like to me? That seems like to me that nobody read those rules and just took the rules and they said these the rules we gonna go by, and they took for granted that everything in there was okay. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it right now. If you are one of the trustees and you are listening, stop it. You need to read everything. You need to be prepared. You need to get all the information ahead of time. And if you're not getting it, you need to say you're not getting it. I mean, the truth is the truth, and we need to have it now. So, no, they had no plan. Well, they did to get a little stink out and then nothing, right? It seems like it almost on purpose. Hey, Miss Missy, how you doing? I'm so glad to see you. I hope you're doing good. I think the 30-minute time limit for public comment is very condescending towards the residents. That there is time to be face to face with the elected officials. They deserve their time. Yes, and it's very hard because he's not a public person. He doesn't speak publicly, right? He's not very seen in public very often, right? And then when he comes to the meetings, he leaves out of there right after the meeting is over, right? Now there's an officer, Officer Storm, is positioned in front of the table, so you cannot even approach the table to ask a question. So public comment is the only time that the residents will have to be able to ask any direct questions. They said, come and ask questions, but you don't want us to comment. Huh? How can we come and ask questions and public comment is only 30 minutes? What is the excuse that Yvonne Stubbs are not speaking up? I don't know. Plants for Life. I have no idea. I'm not even willing to speculate at this point, right? Because we're all grown adults. We speak when we want to speak on certain things. You need to speak on this. If you don't agree with something, we are telling you that we want to hear the discussion that is happening. I don't understand why a discussion should be happening behind the scenes when we're talking about public actions. You should be able to own anything that you do, even if you vote yes, right? You should be able to sit at that table and say, well, I voted yes for this budget because blah, 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 and blah, blah, right? Not sit there and make excuses or say, well, this, well, that. No, why did you vote for it? Can you explain to me why you voted for it instead of saying I don't have the right to ask you, instead of saying that you know best, instead of not covering anything that is actually going to help anyone? I mean, we see that older lady pointed out bonuses. I told y'all this budget was a mess. I told y'all that. Some other things don't make sense, right? You're going to take your actuals, and yes, you're going to increase, some, but you're not going to increase. Let's take, for example, the loan payment. The loan payment went from $950,000 to $3 million. They say they're going to pay the loan off, right? So, and the excuse that Robert gave was that it was going to save the township money in the long run. It was going to save the township $340,000, I think. What is that compared to $4 million you gave the pantry? I don't see how that's helping. But anyway, that's just me. I ain't too bright over here. Paul, why did you say you couldn't contact the trustees when you had their number? Why lie? It's crazy. I got a question for you, right? Even though you may have somebody's number, right? Sometimes you don't always feel comfortable to call them. Or maybe you do call them and they don't answer. I don't know. But Paul, he answered you. I never said I couldn't contact anyone. I said that the township had no public email address and designated person for questions, comments, or suggestions. And that's true. I don't even think their emails are listed up there yet. They may be by now, though. Paul, you did in a Facebook post. Public service bonuses. Yeah. Miss Prima, I know you saw that. They trying to make us miss those things. Candia, listen, do you see how thin this space is between my fingers? You see how thin that space is? Just that much. Just that much. How's it with producer been while I've been staying away? Because it's sad how things are going. Yeah, Jaleesa, but we got to face reality. You got to work through it. Sometimes documentation is needed when you're dealing with public officials. Yeah, I feel like once somebody kind of becomes a public official, you should kind of contact them about issues that have to deal with their position through email so that you can have, you know, a record of answers, a record of what somebody said instead of having to go by memory because they can easily say, I didn't say that. I think it's just different. Even if you have somebody's number, right? If you're talking about something in their official capacity, I feel like you should be, conversing via email or at the meetings, because they're there too. Which law firm is representing the township now? It's a different law firm, and I never heard of them before. Paul, do you know the name of the law firm? And it might be, I think she said Olderson and then Lewinsky, so it's two. You said you had no way to contact anyone. You never said you tried to contact them on their personal number and they didn't respond. I saw the Facebook. I'm confused. It's crazy. Why should he contact them on their personal number about a township matter, business matter? It's not a personal matter. It's a township matter. How would that be appropriate? I'm not sure that's appropriate. Do they get phones as trustees? I don't know, because I don't know if they get a stipend or not. I know they get a salary, but I don't know if they get a stipend for things like phones, cell phones, so they can have like a township number that somebody could call, you know. Don't call their phone. Like Tiffany used to say, I know that's right. Oh, Steve Ladzinski, yeah. And I said Bert Olson, yeah. Why not vote in the recall law adopted by Dalton into place for Thornton? It's still with that Plants for Life, it's still a fee and it costs money. I think the new mechanism, the new recall mechanism, does not require anything to be paid. You have to collect a certain amount of signatures in a certain amount of days. And I think it was like 90 days, and you had to collect like 10,000 signatures. I really thought NH would drop out at the end. He doesn't even look connected to the role, in my opinion. I think your assessment would be correct. Bonuses by your own phone. I know that's right. Is it appropriate if they give the number? Call, make them accountable. I don't know. I'm asking, even if they give the number, this is not a personal matter. They give their personal phone number. For me, this is not a personal matter. This is a township matter. Um, so it should be taken care of via email, their township email, or via a township phone if they have one. Last night I asked if the township attorneys we pay will help us draft a recall mechanism for elected township officials. You did, Paul. What senator comes back to be a supervisor? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, Sharon, unless you're looking at it from that way. Um, you could look at it from a point of it being a stepping stone to add to the resume, right? You could add that to a resume to bolster, you know, your position where you're already at a national level. Okay, it's crazy. It's fine if you disagree. I mean, that's fine. I think you have a valid point, but I just think differently about business versus personal. That's how I feel. If I was a trustee, I would get me a separate phone. I would use my stipend or whatever I get to get me a separate township phone and do township business on that phone and tell you to call that phone. Because at a certain time, I'm going to cut it off, right? Business hours. After business hours, that phone going to cut off. And I wouldn't want anybody calling my personal phone, you know. They need to get on that 10,000 list now. I know that, right? SP and Cunin, I'm a little late. I'll rewatch from the beginning later. Okay, here we go again. Let's make him viral. That part missing. That part. You got to stay on. You got to stay on it. He lied about the bill he proposed, and therefore, to me, nothing he says can be trusted. Correct. To me, that says that he'll do all types of maneuvers and then say he didn't do it. Because while you didn't do it, you did ask somebody else to do it. Because they definitely probably didn't offer. State law bullied Thornton Township. Question. Didn't people beg NAPO to run? Why didn't other people run for supervisor? If the supervisor is recalled, then who? Okay, so it's crazy. Um, I don't know who begged for NAPO to run. That's the first thing, because he have his own little cheerleading team, if you ask me, because they was there last night in the room. Um, and so I don't know who asked for him to run. And there were other options. There were loads of other options. Like I told you, for me, Richard Nolan was not it. Maybe he was not here. Richard Nolan was not it. I felt like Nate was not um, versed enough in the budget, with all these big, with all this money and the allocation of it. I didn't feel like he was well versed in budgets enough. Then you had other people that got knocked off the ballot. So they got knocked off the ballot. I think Sydney um, got knocked off the ballot. Um, and people don't want to run for offices out here because they come with a whole bunch of weighted things, right? You get lots of things thrown at you, you know, allegedly bribery, money thrown at you. This is, people just don't want the hassle or the headache. What I would like to know is, what are actionable steps next? Nate will be supervisor. I mean, who will be the alternative? Um, I think an alternative at this point, you would have to look for one. I feel like I don't know the answer to that. I feel like right now we are where we are, right? He is the supervisor. I feel like him not wanting us to hold him accountable for the actions that he took. Because for me, I feel like this: if you made the comment, a workman is worthy of his hire, then show us or tell us what you are going to do. As it stands right now, you don't want to do a forensic audit, which the residents have been asking for since before Lil Stank left the seat. I don't think that that is unreasonable for the residents to be asking for, right? Um, the unapproved employees at the township, that needs to be corrected because it's an ordinance that needs to be followed, right? You could have did that. I don't think that people would have been upset about the salary if he had compromised and said he deserves this salary, and for the salary he's going to do what the public or the residents are asking him to do: a forensic audit, get rid of the unapproved employees at the township, remove Robert Hunt from his seat, get rid of him, get rid of the accounting firm. You see, it's all about choices. I don't think that this salary thing would have been a big deal if he had a came out and disclosed that that's what he was going to do, that's what is happening, and he's going to do these things, these actionable items, and that's why he deserves the salary. I mean, you did the maneuver to get it, you should do something to keep it. I'm just saying. So I'm gathering the only issue is his salary, correct? Ariel, I wouldn't say that's the only issue. It is those other things that I said. He has not taken action on the forensic audit, the unapproved employees and the salaries that some of them are garnering, um, the finance director position, the CPA firm. These are all things that still need to be addressed. Sad to say, but Nate has his own goons to bat for him. If people don't want to run down what is an actionable option, an actionable option would be to get rid of the township because you don't really need it. Now, in my opinion, that is the action. That's the actionable step, and you do not need a township. That money can then be dispersed amongst the 17 municipalities, and they can go on about their business because they already give their residents certain services. People thought he is a sitting senator that he would be the best choice. Correct. That's what they thought, Shanita. They definitely needed someone with experience, and that's what I agree. That's correct, Miss Prima Donna. I feel like we do. We need to get rid of the township because it's becoming a more of a headache than it is a help. And the municipalities can split up this money and do what they will, help their residents. I heard Robert did an audit and it was independently verified, which why he was present. Isn't that right? No, I didn't hear that at all. And if so, then we should foil for that independent audit. But if that man sat in that seat and said a forensic audit cost money, why would he pay for an independent audit? And why would he not tell the public, being that they're so upset right now just about his salary? Because that would be something that he could say to maybe calm people down. That would be something that he could say. But I don't feel like he did any of that was done. I don't feel like that's true. Nate's pockets are not deep. There's no way in hell he could compete with Napo. Napo has a machine behind him. I've seen weirder things happen. Someone needs to start collecting signatures for the recall. I feel Napo was ready. He didn't do his homework. He should want to do an audit. He needs to see what happened before he took office, unless he already knows. I'm just saying. Question: to fire Robert, shouldn't they have cause? He has not. He has that been shown? It's crazy. I mean, you can show this budget that will tell you he don't need to be there. Where is the okay, let's go over it because you remember when Robert was asked and they said there was a surplus, He said there was a $9 million surplus. Then the month after that, he said it was an $8 million surplus. Then the month after that, he said it was a $6 million surplus. Then after that, I don't know what it was, but I would just guess it went down to 4 million because it was going down, quite evenly by the months. No explanation, just taking a seat and don't have a clue of what the hell he going on. We don't need the Thornton Township. You really don't. I'm wondering if it's some legal issues before he can correct the employee situation. Ariel, there's an ordinance that says that employees for the general fund, it's the general fund only. So anybody that gets paid under the general assistant fund, with the supervisor's approval, if they're approved by the supervisor, they can stay. But anybody that's being paid out of that general assistance fund has to be board approved. There is no way getting around it. You just need to get the list. You need to go through the minutes and find out who was approved and who was not. And those people, either you need to put them on the list to have them approved if you want them to stay, or you need to get them separation papers going. The salary I'm confused by because whoever got the seat would get it. Wasn't the salary limit that Tiffany put in was knocked out? No, it's crazy. I think you missed. So you missed something. So there was a Crohn's bill. So last year when they did the maneuver to stop Tiffany from getting her raise, right? The month after that, there was Napoleon tried to introduce legislation to put the salary back because the time limit had expired and passed, so she couldn't get raise her salary anyway. His bill failed, however. But this is a game that they play in the Senate. It's called shell bills. They call them shell bills. So there was a Crohn's bill that went to a vote, right? In this Crohn's bill, they put in the supervisor raising of the salary bill. It's a shell bill. So on page 90, these bills are sometimes like 100, 150 pages. Who's reading all that? Nobody. So they start out reading and say, "Oh, this is a bill about Crohn's." Okay, fine. I'm with it. And if they once they pass it, that was in there, it gets passed too. That's how that happened. So his salary was then raised back to the level of where Tiffany had hers. He could have at least waited until getting elected a second term before giving himself a raise. I don't think he was hurting for any money if you ask me. Your suggestions make too much sense, hence being ignored by the board. Correct. No poor person can get on the ballot for a position overseeing public welfare for needy residents. The pot of money attracts politicians and lawyers. Was his salary grandfathered in? No. He changed it. He had it changed. He had it put into a bill, the Crohn's bill. Have other townships been dissolved? Yes. Evanston dissolved their township. They no longer have one. That dude don't care. I told y'all that. Another mess. Correct. Hey, Tina Williams. Robert on the hunt has been cooking books for a few administrations. He has those special. I'm done with you, Tina. You've been acting up on a lot of platforms. A few years ago, I couldn't get Meals on Reels. Recently found out I was supposed to call South Suburban. Mm. Respectfully, I just think if no one is willing to step up as supervisor, the township is not being dissolved, then it just seems like no one will ever be happy. Um, it's crazy. Um, the township is really not needed, so it could be dissolved. I think people would be happy if they were getting transparency, if they were seeing the back and forth of, I don't agree with that. No, I don't like that. I would like to see that removed. I think that these are all things that happen in healthy debates. To sit up there and just see nobody, you saying that y'all don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Well, tell us. Well, tell us. Because right now, we're not feeling like anything goes on behind the scenes. Tell us. Maybe you should stop with the behind the scenes and you should tell us. Tell us. Hold the line, please. All right. Sorry about that. Let me see. Educated. Uh, well, Napoleon looked like a brand new penny when they first brought him out, and they kept him hidden and looking new. Now he's barely walking and looking a little like a busted nickel. I wouldn't want to see the township go. There's families who are in need of those services. It's just unfortunate that those elected are mishandled its true purpose. Ariel, to be honest with you, the villages, there's 17 municipalities involved in this township or serviced. The money could be split and go to those municipalities, and they could successfully offer the same services to their residents just directly. That's what Evanston does. I think SP says if the township goes, each municipality will, yeah. The only point of a township should be to care for the county rural roadways, not low income services. I was proud to be a part of a movement demanding transparency from the Henyard administration. Most of the current trustees were a part of it. Can the same forces work again? Paul, I would hope so, right? I would hope so. Under the table payments are going on behind the scenes still. That's forever here in Illinois. Um, so I feel like we just need to make sure that we um, continue to make the comments. SP got me out here in San Diego putting in 4 requests. I didn't even know what that meant before SP. Master G, you good. Please don't say Evanston clout chasing. Oh, Lord. He better go somewhere. He better not come over here with his lying self. Lying. Boy, the people need to come out and speak about that dude for real. Um, yeah, I think the anger that we experienced after our comments last night was the fact that we were speaking truth. We were speaking truth, and you didn't want to talk about it because you talk about things behind the scenes. You don't want your dirty laundry out in the publication. And that's why, right? Because then you say, oh, you can come to us and ask us, but there's no emails on the website. Everybody don't have these people personal numbers. Um, I'm still just not understanding. Okay, it's crazy. Now listen, we agree on that. We agree on that. Cause where did he even come from? How did you even get down here? Child, I don't think any forces are coming back again. Folks tired. And they extra tired. And so am I. What anger did you guys experience? What we missed? Okay, so Michael B. Garson, there were people in a crowd that were for Napoleon, and they didn't like the comments that we made. The only comments that were made were observations, and I gave quotes of the question of answers that he gave. If you go back and look at that Ben Bradley interview, he told Ben Bradley, I wasn't critical of anything. To me, that one line spoke volumes. Sir, what? This woman allegedly stole money. What you mean you're not critical of anything? That's your story and you sticking to it? That said a lot for me. Sad part is Dots tried to tell us about Napoleon. Child, I ain't even gonna. I hate to acknowledge that, but he did. Hey, what does 75XP Crime mean on your YouTube channel? That's if you click it, it's showing people commenting. It's like my top fans thing. If you click it, it'll show you who's making the most comments. You didn't say anything wrong. Michael B. Garson, I don't believe that I did, right? I believe the one thing that you need to do when you are making comments to a career politician is you need to feed them their own words, right? And those were things that he said. He said, I was never critical of anything. And he didn't lie. He didn't make one comment against Tiffany in the public. What he used to say was, let's take the high road. Ain't no high road. This busted wooden penny is gonna get it. That's what she gonna get with that old ugly orange wig. So, like for me, that just said a lot. Did you agree with what she was doing? Was you waiting to get in her seat to do what she doing? Because right now, that's what it seems like. Me, I ain't got a dog in this race. Dog, cat, lizard, or gizzard. I ain't running for nobody's office. So I'm gonna say what I want to say. They depend on the communities getting tired. They do, and becoming disorganized. They do. So when you come through and you make a comment, you have several people make comments that hit 30-minute time limit. 30-minute time limit has been reached. That's what you get. That's what you get. Hey Lee Hamilton, how you doing? Paul Roberts, did the Pew tell you how many people worked in roads and bridges? Just curious. You and Jennifer broke it down. I mean, Michael B. Garson, Jennifer did way better than I did. And I loved her speech. And at the end, she was not disrespectful. She was not condescending. None of those things. She said, I hope that you prove me wrong, but this has been my experience with you. Right? But last night, Robert Hunt told us they have only 3 employees. The budget gives them $310,000 in combined salaries. And they allegedly gonna fix up that little raggedy building that they be in. They said the building was raggedy. Um, so yeah, this is what we need to continue to do because he's in the seat now. What are we gonna do? Are we just gonna sit back and take it? Are we gonna just sit back and let them do what they're doing? No. You just keep making comment and keep saying, I see what you're doing. I know what you're doing. For the people that live in the community, that's your neighbors and everything, they need to be side-eyeing you and saying, now, you was making a whole bunch of comments. You was speaking out every week. Now what we doing? I voted for him and now I got buyer's remorse. Michael B. Garson, that's okay. That's okay. And you know why it's okay? Because you had no idea that this is what this person was going to do. That's not what they told you they was going to do. That's not what they told you they were going to do. So how is that your fault? You did your part by voting. What about dissolving the township? Exactly, Kathy Field. And it can be, right? It can be dissolved because the money can just be split up into all the 17 municipalities, and then they will be able to go out and hire lobbyists, which some places already have, to get the money from Springfield. I mean, done and dusted. It's not a big deal. Really, it's not. I can speak for me and my crew. We tired. We sitting this one out. I'm happy to help out in YouTube comments. That's all I got to give. And it's crazy. Sometimes that's all you got. 4 years. Now we looking at another 4 years. That's 8 years. Child, people are beyond tired, and I get it. I absolutely get it. And I think that's what they're banking on. I think that's what they're planning on. To be honest, he didn't really say what he was going to do. No, he didn't. But you would assume, right, with the people that he picked. That's why I said it is their credibility that is at risk. Because he's a career politician. We know what they do. We know they lie. We know they don't keep promises, right? But it would be those community leaders that you chose to be on your slate whose credibility would be at risk because they have to live in these communities with us and we see them, right? And so you thought, okay, let's I can get with this board because man, this person spoke out, that person spoke out, okay, this person did this, did that, and that's what made you feel safe. That's what made you feel safe. So you didn't do anything wrong. You went by what you saw. Okay, Ariel, don't beat yourself up, honey. Right? This is what politicians do. This is the downside of voting. When you vote and you voted for somebody and they don't do a darn thing that they said they was gonna do, or they change up their whole entire persona. Who is quitting on him? I heard on another live one person is a national secretary. Who else quit? I believe that Dr. Nikita Cloud left. I believe that is what happened. He did say, I purchased the ticket to his fundraiser at the lodge in Calumet City. He sold a lot of wolf tickets. I'm tell you, the community does not hold trustees accountable. Stubbs already had a shady record from the Dalton board, yet she was right back in the meetings throwing stones at Tiffany. You two will hold him accountable. And I will. I don't know about other people, but like I told y'all, I had never planned to leave, right? I said, I'm going to still be covering this. I'm going to still be going to the meetings because you got to make sure that this next administration is going to be what they say they're going to be. Because I'm just, at that point, I just was not trusting me. I wasn't trusting of that. Um, and rightly so. So that I was never leaving. Matter of fact, I will be at the Dalton meeting, their next meeting, which I think is the first Monday in August, August 4th, maybe. So I will be at that meeting in Dalton, um, and just to see how they're getting along because I haven't been reporting on their meetings. The people need to treat these politicians the way the employers treat potential applicants. We need a better vetting process with stricter requirements before you can be considered a candidate. I think for yourself, right? And this is the thing I told you all, I'm not a fan of the multiple seat holding. Because let me tell you about this clerk, and I hope she's watching because she's a nasty piece of work. She's a nasty piece of work, right? Now, you come in there saying that you was rushing over here to this meeting from your job. We don't care. We do not care, right? You sit on the Harvey School Board and you have a job at the MWRD and you the clerk. Now, who problem did that's three checks? That is three checks. Has anybody? I didn't even looked to see if those three seats are incompatible. But we don't care. We do not care about your personal business because you chose to run, knowing everything that you was involved in before you ran. I don't care. Neighbor is the boss. Now he has to go along to get along game. Listen, child, I hope that they watch this meeting and that they listen to them comments because I know he didn't. He didn't care because all he did was get up there and gaslit us after. Sounded like Tiffany to me after. So, Tina, we're going to ask them if they will lie. The conflicts of interest are insane, and they are. I mean, prima donna, they gonna say no every time. That needs to stop holding multiple seats. Yes. Hey, SP, just come in to say hello. As I told Lady D earlier, it has gotten worse. This is too much. Way too much. Well, dang, super producer, she only get paid 17K for the whole year. Wait, why is her full-time non-public job being mentioned? Just asking. Because it takes up time, right? It takes up time. Because I know when I worked a regular job, I'm tired from my regular job. Then you tell me I got to go over here and she getting paid from the clerk job as a regular job. All of those things take time, though. They take time away from things that you have to pay attention with these other things, right? And she only get paid $17,000. Okay, well, listen, I want $17,000 worth of work, and I don't want no nasty attitude and no flippant disposition. Those are the things I don't want, because I didn't know that came with the $17,000 that you get. Because you can easily step down if you want to. Yeah, Michael B. Garson, that is the dots. You see the dots, the Dems meeting coming up. I think that's gonna be talking about that. Can I have 5 part-time? I can work 8 hours and get. I know that's right. Hey, Auntie, how you doing? You was in another chat and didn't get notifications. It's okay. The clerk told us at the start of the budget hearing that she just got off of work from her job. Okay, Paul. She mentioned it. She mentioned it. She mentioned it. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I want $17,000 worth of work then. Can anyone live off of 17? She's not just living off of 17. It's a part-time job. It's a part-time job. Someone has to have a regular job. Okay, fine. But don't come in here complaining. Don't come in here complaining because this is what you chose. It's a part-time job that you chose. You didn't have to choose to run. When he asked you to be on his ticket, you could have said, no, my plate already full. To be honest. No, my plate already full. I'm on the Harvey School Board and I just can't be tired for my job. What's wrong with it? 17K but powerful positions. Exactly. I know the highway commissioner has 2 jobs and would have been 3 if he won Mayor of Burnham. Want to remind you how absolutely sharp you were over the others last night. Oh, thank you, Auntie. For me, if I'm gonna make a public comment, I'm gonna make sure that it makes sense, and I'm gonna try to make an impact and leave a lasting impression. I want you going home dreaming about what I said. Right? I want you really be get that in your spirit and say, am I doing the right thing? Can I do the right thing? Because that's all it is. It's a question. Can you? The whole township on the Harvey School Board. I know that's right. I always hear someone in the school on the school board. Yeah. I mean, these are responsibilities, right? I don't know that the school board one is paid. I do know that it comes with certain stipends for things, right? But it also takes time. It takes time to you have to devote attention to that, right? Attention has to be paid to this clerk position. Attention has to be paid to your personal job. She didn't have to. I mean, we all are sitting here talking like she had to run for clerk. No, she could have said, I'm too busy for that. Like, I'm way too busy for that position. That position going to be way too demanding and it's very detailed. And I don't think that I can handle that. There's nothing wrong with saying that. As adults, we need to say it more. 20 hours a week. How's she working those hours? They need to punch a clock to show their hours work. It is a the residents are fortunate to have your voice on YouTube. I don't know about that. Plants for what is it? Plants for Life. Not too many people subscribe to me or like me, and that's okay. Super producer, you told your secret. You got those 2 engagements by making someone dream about you. What you say? I'm dead. It's crazy. That's funny. Paid or not, it's a job. Thank you. SP, I knew that Napoleon was brought into this and was a shoe-in simply because they had to get rid. Right. They did, Auntie. And, while we're sitting here, this man has not stolen any money that we know of, right? So there's a plus, right? He has done some political maneuvers in secret, right? And because we are traumatized, the maneuver has tripped. It has tripped the alarm in everyone, right? And you simply not just owning up to what you did has tripped another alarm. So right now we in panic mode. We have hit the panic button because we have seen this before. We have also heard people say, oh, give her a chance. Ain't that what they told Tiffany? And look what happened for the 4 years, the 3 years after that, right? So we are traumatized. So now we are seeing all types of red flags. Uh, Stop, right? We are seeing that. I don't know why people are not understanding that. That don't go away because you have a senator in the seat. When somebody do something that looks underhanded, we gonna press the button. How much are the attorneys getting paid? Kathy Fields, I'm sure that it is an outrageous amount because attorneys are not cheap. They pay by the hour. I know most of them charge between $150 to $250 an hour. Okay. I voted because my thoughts was him being a senator could help us get money for Dalton. The Senate session came and went and didn't send Dalton a dime. Thank you, Shanita Lanier. I appreciate that. Get them when their guard is down, and folks will say any and everything to you. In this case, he said nothing. All right, Super. I can't promise I will dream, but I can promise I will be back to watch and give you a views. Good night. Okay, it's crazy. Good night. Thank you for popping in. Great conversation. Great conversation. Um, AP, I bet K Price position is secure in this. I don't know. That's the one thing we're gonna have to wait and see, right? Because he's on FEMLA right now. So we don't know. We don't know. All right. I mean, I read you all my speech in its entirety, the speech that I was gonna give. I only got to give part of it. Um we recapped the meeting. And like I said, there were lots of people that were angry with the comments, public commenters, myself, maybe Jennifer, and Gardis. I think those were the comments that people were most upset about. But for the most part, I had a good reaction. I don't know when KP returns. He has at least 12 weeks. I don't know how long it's been. And then Marivon reiterated the call to give them a chance. Better to keep pressure on them to perform. Correct, status quo. I don't know why you would be hollering, give them a chance, when you was the same one hollering that they told y'all to give her a chance and this is what happening. You already had more than enough time to prepare. You knew what was coming. You already knew what this seat was going to bring. You knew it was going to bring criticism. You knew it was going to bring scrutiny. You knew that it was going to bring accountability, probably heavier than any other township out here because of what has happened. So these are things that you knew. Michael B. Garson, the same energy should be required over here at the township. But anyway, personally, I would keep KP over that Dots, man, if I had to. Michael Smith don't work for any of the municipalities, but it will be up to the voters to decide. Oh, you talking about Napoleon? To decide if he says longer than 4 years trying to unseat him will make everyone look bad. I don't think it would look. This is the thing, right? This is the last thing I'm going to say. We let embarrassment and shame dictate the things that we do, and so instead of correcting a mistake, we will sit in shame and embarrassment instead of correcting an issue or addressing an issue. That I never will understand, right? Take accountability for your wrongdoing, correct it, and move on. This is what should be done in this case because right now he has not um, misappropriated any funds or taken any funds. So the only thing he should do is apologize for that slick ass maneuver and correct his actions. Get the RFP for the forensic audit done. I don't care where you cut in the budget. That's your business. I'm sure you can cut over there at that pantry. $4 million to that pantry is crazy. You could cut that by $2 million. Napoleon didn't know anything because he did no preparation for his seat. He thought he didn't have to. It's much easier to throw out the bombs than to design a good replacement. I know that's right. How much do the trustees make? Now, one of the trustees approached me and said they wasn't making nothing but $6. Was it $6.79? I think that's what was being told to me. I have no idea really. I know it's probably like 14,000 maybe. And that's because the newly elected people, actually the way it's supposed to be set up is that Chris Gonzalez, as the senior trustee, should be making the most. But that's not happening. They're all making the same thing, and I think it's 14,000. Yep, yep. hmm And so that's a part-time job. So somebody's saying 17K for the clerk. I want 17K worth of work. That's what I want. And he made 250 plus incentives. Yeah. Listen, the salary is not the issue. These people have power. That's the issue. Because for some people, power is what they wanted. They never wanted the seat. They wanted the power. Huh? Huh? Can I get an amen? They never wanted the seat. They wanted the power. And they got it. Huh? Okay. Michael B. Garson. Mm. If you allow yourself to be, then you will be. And I tell you, they have time to correct this. They have time to correct this. They have time to correct this. Okay? They do. What they got to do is do it. But the way we're going to make sure they do it is show up and make comment. I don't care how mad they get. I'm going to show up and make a comment. Clerk and highway commissioner should have the same, but the highway commissioner makes 27,000 base salary. And I think that's because he was favored by the seat. Anywho, cause ain't he in the DOTS organization? Y'all watch these seats, child. Anywho, it's gonna be some folk with some tight faces after this little live here. I'll probably get a whole bunch of calls and whatnot. I might get a whole bunch of dirty looks next time I'm at the board meetings or whatever. But I don't care. I don't care. Cause Lil Stank is not in office anymore. You can't blame her. You can no longer blame her for anything. Okay? But what you can do is hold yourself accountable. All that shouting, carrying on that you done. That's what you can do. My only question is, are there people making over 100,000 that are in the township? If so, there's another issue. Well, they better check that general fund and make sure everybody over there is board approved, because they have to be board approved if they over there. I think that needs to be done. Then you'll find out a lot about who make what. But as it stands right now, for me, you don't want to know who make what, because you trying to keep loyal people for yourself too. Huh? It should be easier to forward documents now with the new leadership of TT, right? First Lady Brown, no. This woman worked 3 jobs. Excuse me. This woman worked 2 other jobs. You have to keep a track of your forwards because you may not get them in a timely manner. You would think though. Yeah, the chief of staff was 130K, right? But I don't. You know what? I got a sneaking suspicion that the chief of staff that he appointed, because she came from his senator office. I don't think she going. I don't think she gonna. I don't think she going for it. I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. Is not the salary, it's the power over the people in the township and the money. Just don't be like Bay 50 and say people are after you. Enrique, if she don't keep my name out her mouth, boy, I never did anything to that lady. She over there making up shit. And then gonna tell me I can't make a comment. And the things that she said after that, I left her a nice old message. Cause you don't know nothing about me. You don't know anything about me, where I do business, none of that. Shut your mouth. Now we always trying to help you, and I try to ignore you because I don't be trying to disrespect my elders. She blamed the previous administration for. Hey, Sade. Sade, I'm about to leave. We know TT is redundant. Can villages deny to pay taxes to TT and deny services from TT in essence succeed? It's an interesting thought, sure, but I don't think that's possible. He gave her daughter a 50K campaign donation. Wait a minute, Michael B. Garson, let me show. She blamed previous for. Right. Hold on. She blamed the previous for. Well, my lord. Child, Michael B. Garson, go to bed. It took a month for a forwarded response, and that was after nudging. I know that's right. Has anyone here seen the chief of staff? NAPO doesn't have any PR person or media contact. No, I haven't, and I told you, Paul. I don't think that the chief of staff that came from that senator office. I don't think they. I don't think they want to come over here. I don't think they playing the game. They don't want to play the game. She did. If you could have heard me clapping at the meeting, never scared SPG. Hey, Karen Johnson. Oh yeah, I ain't never scared. I ain't never scared because you gonna get this work because we done had enough. I feel like I gotta get up here and speak for the people who can't get out to the meeting. Well, I question that because you can't expect the supervisor to lower his salary beneath theirs. Yet we need to know the salaries of everyone. Have a good night. Bye, everybody. Look under the Politico. Okay. Please, somebody get your grandma. It's not safe in these streets. She is playing with fire. That you couldn't tell her. Good night, Shanita. You could not tell her. You could not tell Babe Solo. I cracked up at her laugh until she started talking about me like she knew me, and I don't know that lady. I ain't never said a bad word, crossword about that woman. I don't care who she support. She, matter of fact, she joined my channel as a member over here. No, you're fine, sure. I'm here to leave anyway. She joined my channel as a member over here. And then now this is like the third time she's talked shit about me, and I don't even know this lady, and I ain't never said nothing bad about her. But anyway, and I'm thankful that you stood in the gap for us, Miss Prima Donna. Always, I'm always going. You can always call me and ask me, can I go make a comment, and I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna go right there. Okay. What? Don't make her a mod. I've never made that woman a mod over here. She joined my private community, and that was it. I never made her a mod over here ever. That girl crazy. Period. But I tell you what, my girl Trina gathered her right up this morning. Do you hear me? I said I'm gonna leave that lady alone because she didn't get gathered so bad by Trina. I believe she is a special person. That's all I would say. Yeah, child. Okay, because Auntie, I seen you in them comments fighting for your life and hers. I might not say something. I might not say anything, but sometimes I be in the bushes watching, and boy, I'm telling you, it'd be crazy some of the things I see. That lady is lonely. I don't know, but whatever she is, she needs to stick to getting weeds out of her garden and leave me alone. And definitely leave Trina alone. Okay, leave Trina alone. Leave her alone. Okay. Got her too? Yes, child. Leave these people alone. At this point, she creating beef for herself. Okay? Y'all look for a baby podcast from me featuring Bay Fafo and Trina Downs. Cause it's coming. Okay? I just want you to know that. This is probably my second best roast that I loved from Miss Trina Downs. Okay? There will be no Trina hate in in this uh in this chat. Okay? There will be none. Okay? Leave her alone. And leave her alone, babe. Fafa. Because that beating she gave you this morning, that roast, Whew, honey. Whew, Lord, I was in the shower laughing. All right, I'm done. Thank you guys for joining the conversation on our recap of the meeting. Thank you for the conversation. Period. We are going to start having more of these conversations as these things unfold because I feel like, um, this is not the end. We are going to have to continue, and this just shows you that you cannot leave your government unchecked. You have to be present. You have to be present. Okay, you have to be present. I want you guys to have a good night. Have a good day tomorrow. I'm catching a break tomorrow. I ain't gonna see y'all tomorrow. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna leave y'all alone tomorrow. I'm gonna be out here. I mean, I got other things to prepare for. I got some stuff coming, okay? Got some good stuff coming for this channel and for you all that support this channel. Thank you to all my mods, Shanita, Justin, Dave, Jody, Nope Not Even, Dave Bryson, Golfer, Foxy2, Roxy3. Thank you guys, all of you, for moderating and keeping this channel moving and the chat moving and welcoming everybody. All right, Shanita, I will. All right, y'all take it easy. Going to do the rewind. Okay, Miss Carol, no problem. You guys take it easy. Okay? I love you all. And if you can't be good, what I say? Be quiet. Okay? Y'all take it easy. Hey, I hope you wake up and your dog lick your makeup. I hope you get ready for work and you can't find your shirt. I hope you go on a date and your man asks for space with no place for excuses. I hope he chucks deuces. I hope all your plans fail with no money for bail and you end up in jail, but you live to tell the tale.
We need personal space. Just drop out the race.
Condia, the LLC baby podcast will be coming after. I got a whole bunch of baby podcasts coming too. SP, look up Pink Bird. Okay, I will, sure. I will. Condia, I hope you heard me. Hold on, let me turn this music off. Condia, I hope you heard me, but the baby podcast with LLC will be coming. I have lots of baby podcasts coming. And sure, okay, I'll look up the Pink Bird. No worries. Thank you guys.